Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Napier. I'm a composer, producer, and multi-instrumentalist. Along with composing music for film, TV, and video games, I also make music under the moniker Numina. Before we get into this episode, I wanted to delve into the goals and intentions of this quick tip series. So I'm hoping a variety of musicians will find these videos helpful. Whether you're just now exploring chords and harmony, or you're a working professional wanting to reinvigorate your interest in it, rediscovering chords and concepts you once knew. I want these videos to be a creative jumpstart, hence why I'm going to format them a little bit differently compared to other tutorials on this subject. For each episode, I want to start with a single chord and expand outwards, see how much mileage we can get out of it, and see what larger structures it can generate. Sometimes all it takes is a single sound or chord to provide impetus for an unfolding piece of music, and that's for any style. All right, without further ado. All right, today's chord is this, or down an octave for a different flavor. So I'm calling this chord an A minor add flat 6 or A minor add minor 6. Now remember, a flat symbol within chord names denotes a minor interval, not necessarily a black key. All right, so here are the notes of the chord. We have an A, E, F, and C. So this voicing is notable for its intervallic symmetry, but also its visual symmetry, especially on the keyboard in A minor. We all know that symmetry is cool. And you can see it, right? You have this minor second, and then radiating outward from it are these fifths that are constructed. This A forms a perfect fifth with the E. The C forms a perfect fifth with the F. Now, does this symmetry translate to the ear? I think it does. It's almost like you can hear these fifths rubbing up against each other, and that rub manifests as the dissonance that is the minor second. So I'm sure many of you realize that this could also be named an F major 7 chord. It's just an inversion, first inversion, right? While this is true in the abstract according to the idea of inversion equivalence, is it true perceptually? I would argue no. Before we go further, I want to give a brief primer on the notion of inversion equivalence. This is an idea that arose roughly in the 18th century, which is relatively new within the grander context of Western music history. Anyways, this is the idea that the notes of a chord can be in any order and still be that chord. I think this holds water perceptually with normal or basic triads. Root position F major triad, F, A, C. Let's rearrange it to A, C, F with the A in the bass. C, F, A, right? They all sound like an F, but when we get into larger chords like 7 chords, does it hold water perceptually? I think somewhat, but not on the first inversion. F, A, C, E. A, C, E, F. So let's pause on that one. Just disregard the first F chord. Just listen to this one. This one is special because a perfect fifth is formed with the root note, A and E. And then we have the C and F. The perfect fifth is unique in that it instantiates a tonal center, more so than any other interval. I would love to get into that in a future video, but I think it's beyond the scope of this one. So yeah, to me, this is a minor chord, a minor, A minor, with an added color tone, that minor 6 or that flat 6. And it's beneficial for me to conceive of it as this way because it becomes a substitution option for normal minor triad. So instead of this, you can just add a color tone, right? And you can get more mileage once you diatonically transpose it. You'll generate a major version of the chord and also a dominant 7 chord, which is cool. It's very easy to get wrapped up in the labeling, the nomenclature, the semantics, but we have to remember this is a hearing art. It's all about perception and what you're perceiving. All right, so let's look at a way we can get more mileage out of this. Let's go down here. So we have more real estate. So all 4 of these notes are within the key of A minor. So when we're dealing with a chord that is diatonic to a particular key, we can diatonically transpose it up or down, which will generate variants of this voicing. Because of the interval pattern of a diatonic scale, you're going to get not just minor chords or major chords, but you're also going to get dominant 7 or diminished chords. Now with this voicing, we're going to get some cool colors, so check it out. We're just going to transpose this up an octave and basically move the shape up. Sometimes this is called diatonic planing. So a lot of cool chords there, and it's proof that this particular voicing can serve as a foundational chord progression substitution for just normal triads or 7 chords. But let's go over some of the cool chords we get. So we get the original chord we're going over, which I interpret as minor add minor 6. This, we have a G dominant 7 inversion. This, C6 or C add major 6. Right here we have D minor add major 6. Right here we have E minor add minor 6. And then an F6 or F add major 6. And right here we have a G add major 6. And then back to where we started. Another cool aspect of this voicing is how easy it is to modulate via common tones. So common tone modulation is bridging together 2 tonal centers with common tones. And this voicing is great for that, so check it out. All you need to do is bump down that lower 5th a half step. Now we're in A flat major. Or let's go to the major variant of this voicing. Bump up that lower 5th a half step, and now we're in C sharp minor. So this chord and its variants sound great when realized in a string ensemble. Here I'm creating a progression in A natural minor by diatonically planing this chord. Now this is a surefire way to get a modern cinematic sound, full of solemnity, gravitas, a little bit of hope, all that good stuff. Now remember, with diatonic planing, that means you're taking each note of the chord and transposing those notes by the same number of scale steps in the same direction. While this type of transposition doesn't preserve the intervallic structures to a T, they do preserve them to a certain degree. So like minor seconds become major seconds, minor thirds become major thirds, etc. And the ear can hear this degree of consistency. And because it's not a direct parallel transposition, you will generate a variety of chords. It adds to the drama a bit. So let's check this out. So this chord and its diatonic transpositions are also popular drop 2 voicings for guitar, and I find them to be useful as substitutions for progressions that use normally triads or 7 chords. Alright, so you get the point. Let's wrap up now, see what I can come up with on the piano utilizing what we've been talking about. This chord, its diatonic variations or transpositions, and some common tone modulation. Let's see what happens.